Documentaries are treated like reading a book. These films are usually perceived as too boring or too clinically informational. They couldn't possibly hold our interest or show us anything that could apply to our lives, right? Today I want to look at The Thin Blue Line, a documentary released in the late 80s about the events that took place in 1976 when a police officer was shot on the side of the road in Texas. I want to start by talking about the film techniques used to create this documentary, starting with the lack of a narrator. No voice of authority guides us through the events of the trial. We only hear the voices of those who are in interviews.
This all started, Dave was running away from home.
Friday morning, while I'm eating eggs and drinking coffee, I get a good job.
The film's voice, also known as the filmmaker's point of view or his bias, is less explicit. Director Errol Morris used editing and cinematography to infuse his point of view into the documentary. The film goes back and forth between the reenactments of the shooting and interviews with different people who were involved in the case. The most important people interviewed are the two men who were the main suspects, Randall Adams and David Harris. The documentary follows the overall events of the murder, trial, and conviction, but it really focuses on Adams. It sets out to prove one thing: Randall Adams is an innocent man. One of the cinematic decisions made was that in the reenactments, the film uses wide shots of scenes and extreme close-ups of objects, but rarely shows us faces. This is a brilliant cinematic decision because as you watch the film, you never feel as if you have the entire story. There always seems to be something missing. As humans, we latch onto the faces of other people. It helps to ground us in reality as we watch events take place. Without the faces, everything seems kind of surreal, like we are just outside of what is happening. This is because the events we are watching are not real. We only watch the story that is told by whomever is being interviewed at that time. This means that as the film continues, the scene constantly shifts. The car becomes a different model, there is only one man in the car sometimes, and other times there are two men inside. Sometimes the female cop is in her vehicle, sometimes she is out of it. The film continues to show conflicting stories by different sources, which makes us wonder who is actually telling us the truth. There is a psychological beauty to the cinematography. The shot of the female officer's malt flying through the air in slow motion is accompanied with people saying that she had a very inconsistent testimony. No one was sure where she was standing when her partner was shot. The malt flying through the air gives us a sense of the chaos and incoherence of the events. Another great shot is the clock slowly swinging against a black background as the people involved in the case talk about the use of hypnosis on the female police officer. But this shot also enhances the extreme importance of the timeline of events. Adams's and Harris's stories did not have the same timeline. This was a serious problem considering Harris's timeline was used to convict Adams. The further we go into the documentary, the less we believe the people who are being interviewed, and over time we begin to see just how much misinformation, bias, and deception came into the court case. Errol Morris is a firm believer that human error is the main reason for the difficulty of finding the truth. Slowly, the audience begins to understand that the only people who truly know what happened that night are Randall Adams and David Harris. Once the audience understands that, Morris allows Harris to have the final say in an audio recording.
Well, what do you think about whether or not he's innocent?
I'm sure he is.
How can you be sure?
'Cause I'm the one that knows.
We get the most convincing testimony of Adams's innocence as the finale of the film. Why not put this at the beginning? Because we must feel the weight of the lies and misinformation. It's the only way we could appreciate the truth about Randall Adams's wrongful conviction. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for watching that video. I know I haven't done a documentary in the past before this, but I really love this movie. It's such a powerful film, and it was really important because it got an innocent man freed, and it's so beautiful, the cinematography and the editing, and I've just recently watched it for the first time, so I had to do a video on it. That being said, also, uploads should be going back to regular every 2 weeks. Hopefully, I'm working on a lot of different things right now, but hopefully they will go back to that. And if you want to follow me or check out my other stuff, links below all for that, and I'll see you next time.